Did they tell you that?
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't think we knew what we were getting into. But the Henson involvement was very exciting, just the name. Being a huge fan of the Muppets, growing up with that, I knew it would be, from a production value standpoint, something really interesting. But I really had no idea.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what they were going to do. And my first audition was actually at your old offices, and I walked in and was surrounded by Kermit. At that point, I just wanted to be with the frog. I didn't realize it was going to be like Rigel.
Seriously, going into the show, Rock and I had been working on the show probably for 4 years before we started into actual production. So there'd been a lot of design work. The show, as you all have appreciated, which is wonderful, is enormously innovative in many ways. Tonally, it was presenting science fiction in a way that science fiction hadn't really been presented. It has a completely different energy. It's a lot naughtier. We knew we wanted to push to the limits creature effects and visual effects beyond what people had been doing in television. We wanted to do something that people had never done in television before. When Ben and Claudia joined, there was really nothing to look at except for reams and reams of drawings. We had lots of drawings of different characters and stuff like that. But you can imagine, before Farscape was made, looking at these drawings, you didn't know, yeah, these are all really cool drawings, but what exactly are we going to be making? You have to make a show every 7 days, an hour every 7 to 8 days. And it was, in a lot of ways it was psychotically ambitious. But when the first two puppets to come in were Rigel and Pilot. They were the first two. They were actually built in London, and then all the other characters were built in Australia. Maybe not all of them, but most of them were built in Australia as we were shooting. I've always been very impressed with the Farscape cast because there's an interesting thing going on. In science fiction, you have to take it very seriously, the world that you're in. All of your characters within the show have to be very sincere and utterly believe the world that they're in, and utterly believe the stakes that they're playing. And at the same time, with Farscape, we wanted a tone that was lighter and often very comedic. And that's a tough tightrope to walk. And particularly with creatures, you need to treat them with respect. As soon as you start treating them as rubber, then they're no longer alive, then they're rubber. And Ben, in particular, both of you guys, and the whole cast, very good at being able to play this fine line. They're alive, they're real, and I'm taking that sincere, but I'm also going to make fun of the fact that they look like rubber. It's, everybody did it very well.
I remember the earliest days, you guys, in terms of getting comfortable with them, with episode 2, 3, 4, we realized you could touch Rigel. And that actually made a difference because then you just, that kind of interaction, I think, helped you guys and helped, it just made the whole thing that much more beautiful.
Yeah, when you can actually hit the puppets. Punch and Judy, and the puppeteers were instrumental in leading us down that path. It's okay to touch the puppets. It's not like you wanted to touch Rigel. But you didn't want to hit him. The first time that I did hit Rigel was in episode 6, season 1. Back to the Future. And I've told the story before, but bear with me. I talked to Johnny Eckerson, who was Rigel's puppeteer, and John's there doing his thing, and I said, can I just nail Rigel, and then, I'll hit him in the back, and bang, up against the corner of the desk, and then you start choking. He goes, yeah, that'd be great, but we didn't tell the supervisor. We didn't tell the director, Johnny and I were just going to do it. So we come to the scene, and Mike's coming out of a flashback, blah, 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 for those of you who know the episode. And I come out, and wham, I nail him on the back of the head. Boom, he goes down, bang, just like that. And he goes back. And before they can even call cut, I hear, oh my God! it is, I think, what did you use? Insanely, absurdly, what was it, ambitious?
Psychotic.
Yes, it was that. Look, you realize very quickly with the puppets. The first time I ever saw Rigel, I had my 2 children with me who were little, very little at the time. And Johnny was working on Rigel. And we walked into this room, which later became the cafeteria, and he's doing his stuff. And my kids engaged in a 30-minute conversation with Rigel. They never noticed that Johnny was even there. And the more you work with them, you stop looking at Johnny. You just look the guy in the eye.
The directors, I remember when it came time at the end of every season, we thought because it was so psychotically ambitious making the show, I would make a bet with Ben and say, it's not going again, we're not doing another season. And every year I was wrong. It doesn't happen often. And then finally, when Sci-Fi had made an announcement they were picking up seasons 4 and 5 together, so I was convinced we were going, and then we got the shock of our lives to hear that it wasn't going to happen. And then I didn't, I had no idea that Peacekeeper Wars would eventuate either. But,
well, we didn't then either.
But, where was I going with that? We were talking about the companies. Oh yeah, so every year we would all think, oh crap, we have to get a show reel together because it's time to hit the pavement again and get another gig. And the directors would always, without fail, put on their show reels the scenes where we were interacting with the puppets, especially the highly emotional scenes with Pilot. Aaron had a lot of scenes with Pilot, because to them they thought there was huge value in indicating to other people who didn't know the show that they were able to create these really emotional, tender scenes with rubber. And, and to them it spoke to how talented they were to be able to really extract those performances out of the puppets.
Rubber and latex.